All people inherited sin from Adam and Eve, specifically from Adam, because based on the Bible in Genesis 3:6, where the serpent has visited the Garden of Eden, Genesis 6 says, "And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked." Dude. So basically that scripture says that Adam was there the entire time the serpent was there talking to Eve, and his job, his position as man, he was supposed to stop her right then and there, or even stop the serpent right then and there and be like, no, God said this and that should have been done with that. But if either one of us was put in that situation, neither one of us would have succeeded. All of us would have failed. That is where sin came in at with man. I have these questions. So basically, after I found out that information, I asked, when was the fall of Satan and his angels? Now, there's not much about the fall of Satan, okay? We have Revelations 12:4, which indicates, or says, 12:4 says, "And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and it did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her children as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, Jesus, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up into God," Jesus, "into his throne." Verse 6 says, "And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought, and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, and the old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him." So we have that, and then I want to go to Job. I hate to jump around to scriptures like this, but I encourage you all to read and study to show thyself approved. We're going to go to Job. And in Job 1:6, it says, "Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came along among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence come thou? Then Satan answered the Lord, and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job? There is none like him in the earth." Okay, so Revelations 12:4 showed us the fall of Satan. Just a glimpse. And then Job shows us that Satan and his angels had access to heaven, based on Job chapter 1 verses 6. What I want to ask next is, where did these spirits go? Where did Satan and his angels go? What did they do while they were here on earth? So if you go to Genesis chapter 6, in Genesis chapter 6, it shows you what these fallen angels, or the sons of God, did while they were here on earth. And what they did was not pleasing to God still. So let's go to Genesis 6 and read what that says. Genesis 6 says, "And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. chapter 6 verse 4 says, there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and in creeping things, and the fowls of the air. For it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Is that story a little familiar to you guys? This is when God tells Noah to build the ark because he's going to destroy the world by water. Because he wants to kill these giants, these nephilim spirits that I've just came across of knowing. So he tells them that I'm going to destroy the earth because I have to kill these giants off. Now, he destroys the earth, able to drown out the giants. But where do these giant spirits go? Now, which it brings me to this verse right now. I could be wrong, but this is what I'm getting. Now, if we go to Ephesians 6. Okay, we are in Ephesians 6, verse 12. And Ephesians 6, verse 12 say, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. The gospel is a mystery, but it's not that mystery. Sin came in with man. Sin has been defeated by man. But as long as we are on this earth, free will reigns. So people are free to do whatever they want to. They can freely harm whoever they want to. They can be evil. That's what this side of the world is. Because before Adam and Eve actually ate from the tree of good and evil, they knew nothing of good and evil, and they had no knowledge of good and evil. They only knew good. It was God who knew both good and evil. That's why Satan told them they would be like a god, because being like a god, you are open to everything that's in the world that's out there. So if you're trying to shield, it's just like your parents. They're trying to shield you from a lot of things within the world